Welcome to The Patty Show. My name is Patty Setiatti, and in this podcast, we'll explore the crossing point of the three P's: passion, pleasure, and positivity, and how they can lead you to your own personal paradise. We'll chat with inspiring guests, share practical tips, and dive into stories that will empower you to live your best life. Let's get the Patty Party started. Back to The Patty Show, everybody. Woohoo! Yes! Oh my goodness. Blessed day. We're in a special place, y'all. But before we get to this amazing episode, 102 special episode, I just want to introduce myself. It's your host, Patty Setiatti. You know, I have the pleasure, the honor of showing you all multi-passionate people that I have the pleasure of connecting with. They bring positivity to this world, and they inspire you to pursue your personal paradise. Look at all that alliteration on the Patty Show, all the P's. Oh, man, this is a blessed episode. I'm so grateful. Before this, I want to shout out my previous guest, my Singaporean sister, filmmaker, cinematographer. Man, she's killing the game. We talked a lot about her upbringing in Singapore, you know, different times over there. Arts weren't really a thing. Her passion for K-pop and anime actually helped her with the cinematography school. I forget the name of the school, actually. We talked a lot in that episode, but check it out. It's a good time. She was the director of photography for the short film that I was in, playing a 65-year-old retired lawyer. You guys got to check that out. I think it's in the festival circuit right now, but it was a fun time, and I'm grateful for her, and I'm grateful for my lovely guest today, which he is not 65. He is 35, okay, the way he looks. My brother over here, they call him the Minister of Transformation.
Yes.
The Prince of Belize, the king now at this point, you know? He has the swagger from all the color that he brings. Not just from the color, but also the color of joy, of positivity, of pleasure. I'll tell you that. That's how we got this wristband. Some fun stories. This man right here has helped a lot of my brothers in their journey. He's helping me right now in this weekend. I've learned so much about myself, about everyone else. And we're in the beautiful, amazing Belize right here. Give it up to the king himself. Coach Wayne Moody. Woo!
Yes,
my brother.
yes,
Thank you for coming to the Patty Show.
Hey, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I was looking forward to this.
Thank you, man. I'm so grateful. Well, first of all, if you could give a little self-intro to everyone, your background, hobbies, passions, how we know each other, do your thing.
Well, I am originally from heaven. That's what I used to tell my friends in LA when I lived in LA, right?
LA.
Originally from heaven, but was dropped off in a piece of heaven called Belize. And that's where we are right now. We're actually at Hopkins Bay in Dangriga. And Hopkins Bay is an amazing, as you can see where we are. It's, I mean, you can just forget the rest of the world and just be.
Yeah.
But I'm originally from heaven, dropped off in a piece of heaven called Belize. And I had lived in the States for like over 22 years. I got back home a year ago. And I was back home specifically because my dream, when I started this work as a life coach, I had to design my dream. And my dream was to coach the nation of Belize. It's no longer a dream. I'm actually coaching the nation of Belize because every Belizean I coach is Belize. But I've not just coached Belizeans. I have clients from Hawaii to Georgia, New England to Alabama. I have a client in India, in Nigeria, in Philippines. So the scope of my work is global. But as the Minister of Transformation, the word minister is a servant. And transformation, I say it's like you take the caterpillar, goes into the cocoon, becomes the butterfly transformation. So I coach people to take their dreams from conception to manifestation. So at 64, I say, this is my second win. I'm looking for the next chapter.
Wow, I love that, man. We're so grateful to have you. How do we know each other? What's our connection?
Well, one of my clients, Luckario Sid, who actually is here with us, he's getting married. He's getting married in August. But I said to him, why don't you do your bachelor party in Belize? And what I do teach is everything is first a thought before it becomes a thing. And what we're experiencing here is a manifestation of his thought. So Luckario is a client of mine. He's getting married. And as a friend of Luckario, you're here. And that's how we connected. But I think I first met you virtually when you guys were in Bali.
Yes, sir.
And I said, I am going to Bali. And again, like I said, everything is first a thought before it becomes a thing. So we're going to go to Bali too. Maybe we can do a session in Bali.
Oh, well, of course. Love it. Part two.
But Luckario is an amazing, amazing dream builder. And he brought a few of his friends, and they've been here since Friday, Saturday, today's Sunday. And we're just going in strong.
The time has flown by, and we also had Barry. He was also on the podcast. Our man Barry, also another one of your amazing clients.
Right.
He's
Not
like the OG, right? So it was him first.
Yes, yeah. And then I had Barry, and because of what I did with Barry, Luckario was like, man, I need this. It's like, you know, you go to the barber and you get a good haircut, and then somebody's like, man, hook me up.
Hook me up,
and so Barry hooked up Luckario, and now you're being hooked up.
Oh, I am being hooked up right here. You know what I'm saying? Hooked up with the blessings.
Yes.
Let's go back in time again now. You said a little piece of heaven, Belize. For the people that don't know where it's at, what it's about, what was it like for you when you were like, let's say 5 years old in Belize?
Well, you know, Belize, for you who don't know where it's at, by now, many people are discovering Belize and they want a piece of Belize. But Belize is tucked in there in Central America. It's south of Mexico. It's actually, Guatemala is next to us, and then south is Honduras. But it's a part of Central America. It's the only English-speaking country in Central America. We were colonized by Britain. English is our first language. Diverse. It's like 400,000 people. But the culture, oh my God, it's a melting pot. You had a chance Friday night to see the different cultures together. And, you know, every culture is secure in itself, but we call ourselves Belizeans.
Belizeans.
So you might be Mayan, Quechua, Garifuna, Creole, Mennonites, Mestizo, but we're all Belizeans.
I love that. I love the melting pot. That showcase was so beautiful too. All the different cultures and like the different music, but also there's so much similarity to all of it, and it brought everyone together. I mean, the music, we were dancing around, having a fun time. I mean, all of the groups too. Could you list them again? It was
we had the first we actually had the Garifuna. We have the East Indian.
Oh yeah,
we had the Mayans. We had the Mestizos, and then the Creole. So, and again, those were just some because the Mennonites have their own thing, but they weren't there per se on Friday.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to some drummers here in Hopkins because Hopkins is a part of Dangriga, and Dangriga is known as the culture capital of Belize.
Oh, the culture capital.
So we're in Dangriga, but Hopkins is in Dangriga, and in Hopkins here they do drumming, and I hope we get a chance to go in the village and actually experience live drummers.
Absolutely. I mean, Belize is so unique too, guys, that have never been. It's Central America, but also Caribbean.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So like last night, me and our friend Barry over there, my brother, we were experiencing, let's say, what is it called? Like a
Well, we have a carnival in September.
Carnival, yes.
And Belize, if you want to come to Belize and really party, that is the month of September because September is our national month. And
you said month. So the whole month is partying.
And the thing is, most of the Central American countries, if not all, their Independence Day is September. So Guatemala, Honduras, everybody's Independence Day.
Is that a coincidence or something?
Well, because they were all released by Spain. But we were released by Britain.
Okay.
But still we came along and just flowed in. So our Independence Day is 21st of September.
21st
but the 10th of September is a national day for us. It's significant to what we call the Battle of St. George's Key because there was a skirmish and we fought and we told the Spaniards you can get off.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yes. So, but again, it's my home. It's my passion. And I say there are two things that I know we can actually work together in my country. If you're connected to the source and you love the country, not that you're pimping it, wanting to come and exploit it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to come to steal, kill, and destroy. No way. You're not going to be here. And if you're here with that mentality, you're going to have to deal with me.
The big boss over here. Big boss. So when did you move to the States then? Because you were in
the day before 9/11.
What?
I was married and my wife and I had gone to, my ex-wife that is, had gone to Houston. And I remember we got in the tent. The 11th, we were driving, taking my nephew, my sister and I were taking my nephew to school. And driving to school, we heard their plane had gone into one of the towers.
Oh no.
So we dropped him off, went back home, and we were watching on the news. And we literally saw the second plane crash. And then we were watching, and then we saw both towers collapse. Where were you?
I was, 3 years old maybe.
But that day shook the world, and the world has never been the same because, you know, traveling before, you would literally get silverware in the plane.
Oh yeah, like the forks? Wow.
Yes. On the plane, you could go to the back of the plane and smoke.
Oh, now you can't do anything in the plane now.
No, listen,
there's
now
so many restrictions. You can't even bring peanuts sometimes.
That's the only thing they'll probably give you on the plane.
Yeah, I know, only the peanuts. That's it.
But that was a transformative time because my life has never been the same. The world has never been the same.
Yeah.
So it was then. And then I'd moved to Memphis, but I had moved from Memphis to California, where most of my family lives. Even now, my family lives in California and Belize. But that's where I was in LA, and I lived in LA for until early COVID. I had moved to Hawaii, and then I moved back from Hawaii to Houston, where I spent the last 4 years of my life, and then I returned to Belize last June. This June is a year since I've returned back to Belize doing the work that I do.
Man, I know they welcome you with open arms because another flower section to him, flowers. A lot of flowers, of course. We'll talk about the attire over here. He's like the mayor out here. I'm telling you, he hooks us up. Everywhere we go, we're welcome, you know? So we're so grateful that you were showing us around. And could you tell the story about the Uber, Uber life, actually?
Well, you know, my last job, before I left Belize, I was the youngest member managing the prison in Belize. And on a couple of occasions, I was literally sent abroad as an ambassador. But my last job in the States, I was working as a program director of a behavior program where we were dealing with behavior intervention. And I did it for like 10 years. And at the end of 10 years, they gave me some accolades. And the year after, it was like that went straight through the door. So honestly, I was very frustrated. And you know, life has a way of making you uncomfortable so that you can step out of where you are. And I became so uncomfortable. And I remember my niece said to me, because I would be working and 2-3 times a day I would go to the restroom because of the stress, of just the politics of the job, not what I was doing. Because if there's anything I learned from working with folks who are having kind of challenges was gratitude. At 64 today, I'm not on medication. And I had clients who are going to be on medication for the rest of their lives. And that's another story if you want to talk to me about medication. Because I'm not for medication. But today at 64, no medication. But, you know, the job was somewhat taking too much out of me. And I don't think there's a job, there's a relationship, anything that is sucking your life, let it go. Because if it's not serving life, it's killing you. So I got to love myself. So I decided to leave, and Uber was the thing. So I remember my niece took me for the first time driving when I got my first ride. And once I learned the app, I was good because what had happened, I tasted freedom of time. Because I could then say when I want, how I want. So I set my schedule. And I've tasted freedom of time since I started Uber. And I don't think I can go back. And I tell folks like yourself, are you on the plantation? Because if you're on the plantation, you have to ask permission. Do I have time off? I don't have to ask nobody time off. I go if I want to go. So I started Uber, and I remember when I did my first ride, because I gave my job 30 days notice before I left. And the first day when I officially left and I was driving Uber, I went to a Belizean restaurant in LA on La Brea. And I was in there and I went on social media and I posted having lunch with my supervisor. And my friends were like, Uber has supervisor? I said, yes, I'm my supervisor. So you know, reference to my relationship and spirituality, I say God is my executive director. And I'm the star and he's the producer, financer, and all that stuff. So God and I are creating this blockbuster life. But I drove Uber for 4 years and like 8 months until we went into COVID. But before we went into COVID, I became a life coach. And when COVID came, people, it was the best thing that happened for me because everything went virtual. I was introduced to Zoom, which I was afraid of because the technophobia is still something. At 64, I'm doing Zoom meetings. I'm doing
it's surreal
Google
too,
Meets.
Like you're having a meeting with a screen.
All this stuff. And honestly, during COVID, I was offering free strategy sessions like Monday and Wednesdays on Zoom. And I would have one person, few people come in. I literally had folks who came in, and after I spoke with them, they said, hey, I'd love you to coach me. So driving Uber, I did like 23,070 Uber rides.
There we go.
My longest ride was, I remember my best friend had told me, get a Costco card. Because with the Costco card, the amount of gas I use, I got the rebate. So the card was paying for itself. And one day I had a ride that took me, I just finished Costco, got a ride to Greyhound. And there was a Pakistani family that came in, and the guy said, when the app came up, I didn't swipe, I just knew they were the riders. And he said, don't start the ride yet. So I didn't know I was going. So the men got in my car and they waited for the second car. The women got in the car, and when I swiped the app, it said Hard Rock Cafe, Las Vegas. That was my longest Uber ride.
Oh my goodness.
But I rode up all the Ventura all the way to San Diego, but not as far as Vegas.
So when you did that drive, how was the drive back then? Did you have a Uber?
I have friends all over the world. So the thing about it, my best friend and I were supposed to go to Vegas the weekend.
Ah.
And when I messaged a friend in Vegas, he said, "But aren't you coming this weekend?" I said, "Yes, but I got an Uber ride today."
Yeah.
So I stayed at his house.
Perfect.
And the thing is with Uber, once you cross the state line, you can't drive. No, you got to be, because I was registered in California.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
So I went to Costco the morning after because by then my gas was gone.
Yeah.
And then I rode back and I didn't get a ride until I crossed into California.
But you can drive to Las
drive
Vegas,
too.
right?
Because, you know, I heard once there was I think it was an NFL player who was like in South Carolina or North Carolina. And he needed to go to New York. He got an Uber rider to take him to New York. That was money.
That is money.
But then you got to be free. Now, this is why when I would get in my car, I would have my gym bag because I had a 24-hour fitness lifetime membership.
It. You get a shower. Yep, you know how it is.
And you know what's my favorite spot? Costco. All the free samples. That's where I go have lunch.
you get your steps and then you can get the hot dog right there. You know what I'm saying? Look at that.
Yes. But
these are the secrets, Uber secrets.
Yeah, you get a Costco card. That's going to help you to pay for the card, and you'll be able to purchase at Costco. Yeah. You'll be able to get lunch at Costco in the house.
You can get like protein bars if you need. You know, it's easy. Yeah. What?
Because Costco it's a good thing.
Wow, this should be Costco sponsored now.
You can go and seek the sponsorship since you're mentioning Costco.
Yeah, Costco. You know, hook the patty show up. You know?
Okay.
I haven't seen a Costco here though.
No, honestly, Belize don't have much as far as that kind of stuff. American. You won't find a Burger King, McDonald's. I mean, and that's something that the tourists love. Yeah. Because why would I go somewhere else and look for what I left?
That's true.
And when you come here like to Hopkins and you come to Belize as a tourist, you're going to get the local, authentic food. You won't get any. I mean, he can tell you. I took him to have Belizean breakfast yesterday.
Ooh. What did you have? Too, what is it called? The
Fried Jack.
Fried Jack. If you guys have never tried it, you got to try it. It's delicious. I tried the stuffed one, the cheese and bean.
Yes.
Woo.
And the first meal you got to Belize, talk about that meal.
Oh, man. Home cooked meal. Shout out to sister out there. We appreciate you so much. We got seconds, thirds, all of that. We packed it to go. You know, like the big pots over there? We were ready to take it home, to be honest. But I don't know. That was a lot. The rice and beans. Like, how you guys make the rice and beans?
Well, one of the key with all rice and beans is the coconut milk.
Coconut milk.
We add coconut milk to the rice if you're just cooking rice. And if you're cooking rice and beans, we put coconut milk.
I mean, we talked about this before, but the parallels between Indonesia and Belize, I see it so much. That's why I'm excited for you to eventually come over there with me. And I have to go back too. I haven't been back since me and Luckario went like 3 years ago. But we use coconut for everything. I mean, desserts, rice. You
make the coconut tarts.
Yeah, coconut everything. So that's why
you can put the coconut milk in your smoothies.
Yeah. Coconut might be a top 3 fruit. You know, we've had
actually, coconut is the best hydrator.
Absolutely.
And you've had coconut water since you've been here.
I mixed the coconut water with the coconut rum. I'll tell you, Mom, don't watch this part, okay? That was a good drink too. If Barry was here, he would know because we almost finished that whole bottle of rum because you mix it and it's so smooth. Coconut, everything. What's your favorite fruit though, besides coconut? If you had to pick one,
soursop.
Soursop.
Then mangoes.
Then that's a close second.
Because soursop, if you don't know what it is, you have to actually see it, and you can go Google soursop, the medicinal benefits, the health benefits, and then mangoes. Man, you know what I do when I make my oatmeal? I make the oatmeal, but instead of putting in sugar, I put it in the mangoes. That's my sweetener.
Delicious.
So I eat the oatmeal, but then the sweetener is actually the mangoes.
I mean, it balances out too. Because oatmeal is very, bland, neutral, but you add some sweetness, the natural.
That's like my sugar when I have my oatmeal.
This is why he's looking young at, you said 45?
64.
Oh, 64.
I'll be 65 January.
Well, he did like to remind the Mayan temple area. Thanks for taking us.
That was yesterday.
What's the name of the place again?
Altunha.
Altunha.
And, we were corrected today coming up because some people say ruins. But they're not ruins, they're temples. Ruins is like devastated.
That means it's devastated.
But these are. But you know what? Talking about the ruins and devastation, and I want to say this, and I look in the camera and I say this. For those of you who have come and took our resources from the temples, we're coming to get it. Because there's a lot of stuff that has been taken, and it strikes a chord in my heart because it's sad that folks come to steal, kill, and destroy. Take away. I mean, we have a jade head. from Belize, but it's not in Belize.
Hmm.
Whoever has it is not yours. It's for Belize.
We're hunting. We're hunting for that.
Yes, yes.
But that was an amazing sight. It was a spiritual experience too, climbing up there. The funny story we had over there. There's was a ritual game?
No, there's a game, Kick the Puck or something like that.
We forgot the exact name of it, but there's this game, right? You play the game, and usually when you're first place, you get a trophy.
And you play to death.
Yeah, this one you play to death. And when you win first place, our friend Ricardo will not like this, but you sacrifice yourself.
You become the sacrifice of the temple.
You become the sacrifice of the temple.
So they did the game, and whoever won, it was a privilege for them to be sacrificed. And I was telling the brothers, if you practice, like, say, Christianity,
yeah,
Yeshua won, and he was sacrificed.
True.
So they probably connect something there, because
something there.
Who are we to say that experience, that whole principle?
Mm-hmm.
Because sacrifice, and this is what I say as a life coach, success has to involve sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, then you won't see the dream that you have, because any dream that you have, you got to sacrifice.
Absolutely.
But most people prefer to be in their comfort zone. But you got to step out of your comfort zone if you want to enter into the thing that has never been.
Absolutely. I mean, discipline is sacrifice. Waking up early, doing
that is sacrifice.
100 push-ups, like you said, the walking. It's not easy. But if you
discipline is different from motivation. Because motivation is when you get excited and you get an emotion. Yeah. But discipline is doing what you have to do when you don't feel like.
Which is most days.
Remember we were passing some of these guys today on their bicycles riding. Think about cyclists. They come out when it's rain, when it's snowing, when it's hot. Because if they just say, well, I won't go ride because today is too hot. Because the race might be on a hot day. The race might be on a day when it's snowing.
Might be snowing, yep.
So, but I'm excited. And like I said, I've been back home over a year. I started as a life coach in 2019. And now it's 2026.
Wow. He's lived a lot of lives, honestly. I mean, you also said you lived in Jamaica a little bit?
Well, I went to Bible school in Jamaica.
Bible school in Jamaica?
And then when I left Jamaica, I had a girlfriend in Jamaica. So for every break, Christmas, Easter, summer, I was on my way to Kingston. I dropped in Kingston and I start talking patois like I'm a Jamaican because I know the Jamaican language.
Wagwan. My first girlfriend was Jamaican. That's all I know.
Okay.
Shout out to all the Jamaicans out there. Hit us up.
Yes. Jamaica.
I want to go. I've never been.
Land of wood and water. That's what yep. And Jamaica, I must say something about the Jamaicans and the Haitians, because we're all part of the Caribbean. The Haitians are one of the only ones that fought, and they gave the French a black eye, and all the other colonizers stood on the side, and they blackballed them for life.
Wow.
Today, the Haitians are given such a bad rap. But that's because those who came to steal, kill, and destroy. Yeah. And then now in Jamaica, the Maroons, who are again African ancestry, they were in Jamaica, and they would escape up into the mountains, and they were giving the British run for the money. After a while, the British just had to throw their hands up and say, we can't deal with you guys. This is why if you ever get in a space with all the Caribbean people, the Haitians and the Jamaicans, you will distinguish them immediately. That's just what it is. The Belizeans you will too, because we're like this little, calm and cool. Like, I shared with you yesterday that our flag, the Belize flag is the only flag that has human beings.
I never realized that.
The sign says Sabamba Flora, which just says, under the shade of the tree we flourish. And we're like, and one of my friends says, man, we need to change that because it's like under the shade of the tree we chill. But we don't need to be chilling. We need to be doing stuff. But again, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Wow. I love the flag too, honestly. It's such a beautiful flag. It has the two people over there. And then there's the, what is the saying on the bottom again?
Sabamba Flora. Under the shade of the tree, we flourish.
What language is that exactly then?
I think it's might be Latin.
Okay.
Because it might be Latin, but it means under the shade of the tree. Under the tree, we flourish.
Well, under the trees, we're
and
here.
The tree on the flag is a mahogany tree.
That's the national tree.
Right, that's the national tree, right? The mahogany tree. So, but you saw it when you went to the temple yesterday, the Mayan temple yesterday.
Yes. I mean, it was so beautiful. I'm walking up there, and then the view was phenomenal. The acoustic part was really cool.
Oh yes,
like doing the clap because of the limestone, wasn't it?
Right, and it showed that they have a technology that is beyond our time, because the way they structured the temples and the square where they live, And when the priest would be on the top speaking,
Mm-hmm.
the way the buildings were structured, it was like he had a megaphone.
Mm.
So,
You
and
hear
again,
everything.
that is amazing that we go back before the time that we have today, and today there isn't much of that kind of technology.
I mean, it's insane. The buildings and the structures, those like oh my goodness,
They have
they're
survived
so high.
earthquakes, they have survived hurricanes.
I know, and they did it with technology that wasn't even invented. Now it takes forever to build stuff. In Indonesia, I'll
Listen,
tell you.
The buildings they build today, after 5-10 years, they got to break them down.
I know, because it's not even strong enough, or
Nope.
No.
They get I mean, the wind, the elements destroy them. They get rust, or the board that they build with rot. So it's, I mean, we got to go back and learn. And, you know, talk about going back. Sankofa is a Ghanaian principle. And Sankofa, it says we should not be too afraid to go back and correct what needs to be corrected before we go forward. And there is so much that we need to be corrected. A lot of the generational issues that keep going on, unless we go back and correct them, it's like go getting therapy and go getting counseling, go deal with the challenges that you have in the past. Because one of the things that we got to do is practice forgiveness. We got to acknowledge where we went wrong, who went wrong, and we have to come up and make amends and do what needs to be done.
The wise words of former teacher, but still a teacher, of course.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So you taught what grade levels, and how long have you been?
I was a junior high math teacher.
Ooh,
and
God bless you.
that was the first. That's the first job that I had when I left school in Belize. I taught for a year. Then I went to Bible school. Then I came back and then I taught again. And a lot of the students that I taught today are running the country.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
It's amazing that when you see your students. I remember when I got back last year, I was in the credit union parking lot, and this young lady came up to me and she was shouting from a distance, my teacher, Mr. Moody. And I said, wow, Miss Cumberbatch, how are you doing? I said, are you retired? She said, I retired, but they had me come back. She was the chief meteorological officer, and I taught her. And I can name other people that I've taught that are actually truly playing an important role in the country right now.
I mean, you also have a really great memory. We went to the market and he knew everybody. I mean, I'm telling you, like, this person's name, how was there? I don't know how you do that. I forget, you know.
Teachers have to. Because you can't be a teacher and call the wrong student name because the students are going to be happy. Oh my God.
I mean, I've noticed that. Like, if a teacher really
has to have, if you're a teacher, you got to remember the name, because not just as a teacher. One of the worst things to do is call somebody out of their name. Whether it's just the regulatory or just their name, because you don't come up to me and say, what's your name again? Oh, Peter? Peter where? I'm no Peter. If somebody come up to you and say, oh, what's your name? Pooty or Poety? No.
Is it George Price? That's not my name. I'll tell you that.
Hey,
not here.
No. You know, talking about George Price, that's one of our father of the nation. And another great father of the nation is Philip Golson. And you've been on the George Price Highway and the Philip Golson Highway. And those are two men that played an integral part of my country. And even though they became opposition to each other, they knew what it was to respect each other. And that's one of the things I would hope that the leaders today would have that same spirit of George Price, Right Honorable George Price, and also Right Honorable Philip Golson, because those men, they didn't see eye to eye, but that didn't mean that they were going to be disrespecting and throwing mud at each other.
I think that's an important lesson, especially in today's climate, I'll say, because
even at the politics in America.
Especially. But I think it's all around the world. Indonesia is the same thing too. A lot of it is very corrupt, unfortunately. But I think having that mutual understanding and respect, I think, is important, because it doesn't matter how close you are with somebody, there's always going to be differences. Like me and Luckario, we bicker about stuff here and there. Obviously, it's not like political stuff crazy, you know, and we don't have the power to get a bridge and happening and everything. But having the mutual respect helps a lot with any type of like relationship you have, and especially with something as high stakes as, you know, dealing with the whole country. You know,
they say politics and religion is something that you don't want to talk about. But I say you have to talk about politics and religion. Because religion, honestly, I believe a lot of the problem we're facing today is because of religion. And politics, again, leaders are I mean, whichever leaders you get, doesn't mean that you might agree with them, but you want to respect them and respect the office. Because I might not agree with the man that is in America right now that I don't call his name. I don't agree with him. But that doesn't mean that I don't have compassion. Because he's calling for love.
Yeah.
I mean, when you listen to the stories told by his family and relatives and how he went through what he went through as a kid, there's a deficit. There's a lot of deficit.
Yeah.
So, but the question is, am I going to be willing enough to say let go?
Yeah.
As much as whatever offense I might have, because I won't send anything negative to nobody, because whatever you send out is going to come back to you.
That's so true.
And if you study spiritual principles, you got to bless. Because if you curse, you're going to get cursed.
Yeah.
If you bless, you're going to get blessed. So
and also don't waste that energy.
No. People ask me, what do you think about, and I'm like, I don't think about him.
Yeah. I don't want him no real estate in my brain. Rent is already expensive out here.
Right. So I don't want him to come and live in my brain, so I don't think about it. And am I concerned? Yes, I am. But I feel like it's my responsibility to be the change that I desire. I think it's Maya Angelou who said that you want, or was it Gandhi? You want to be the change that you desire.
Yeah,
because
be the change you want
people
to see
people want to see change, and I say, for example, the state of my country right now, people say, man, we need change, but change begins when I change. And that can take me back to the story of how I started my spiritual journey at 18, because I was invited by a friend of mine to go to a meeting, and the speaker was speaking on the topic, Up and Change Your World. And he said, the world is in a dilemma like today and needs change, but the only way the world can change is if people change, and the only way people can change is if you commit your life in God's hand, have God change you, and then you become a world changer. And it's been 46 years this past March, just been doing changing the world. I ain't stopping. Ain't no stopping me.
Yes, sir.
Now.
I love that. But before you got into that, was your family already like very Christian, right?
Well, I grew up between Roman Catholicism and the church state, which is Anglican.
Anglican, okay.
Belize was colonized by Britain, so the Anglican church would be the state church. Today there's a lot more as far as diversity, because there's a lot of like evangelical churches, and there's every faith. There's every faith that you can think of. There's Muslim, there's Hindu, there's and there's
variations too.
Right.
Yeah,
so what people believe, I do believe what you believe determines how you behave.
Yeah.
But as far as where I was spiritually, I had never been experiencing what people would call born again. And even what happened when I was 18, I still embrace my spiritual heritage, but who I am today is not who I was even at 18. My belief systems have evolved, my mindset has changed, and even today, who I was yesterday is not who I am today. I'm ever evolving, ever growing, ever becoming better, because there are a lot of mindsets that we have, a lot of things that we learned that we would have embraced, and sometimes we don't want to let go when we realize that, hey, it was BS.
I mean, we talked about, I forgot what day it was, but about like, growing up in a certain faith or belief for so long, even when you want to switch the mindset, it's so hard because it's ingrained from the family, from the cousins, from mom,
tradition,
dad.
Tradition. You know, I remember this movie, Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof, okay.
And it's a classic because it showed 3 daughters that he had and how each of them end up getting married. The first one came and asked permission. The second one, they had to like stand up for what she wanted, and then the last one just decided, we're going to go get married. And again, when you look at, let's say you want to look at spiritual principles. Yeah. Back in the day, the brides, they were having no question who they were going to marry. They just said, you're going to marry him. And if we're going to go all the way like that, then it means that today all these people should be just deciding who their daughters and sons are going to be married to. But that's not what happens today with the culture today. Yeah. I mean,
there's some that still have it.
I mean, some cultures and some traditions are still in certain groups of people. Yep. But that doesn't mean that that's what's right across the board. So if people say, well, oh, we got to live by the Bible. Well, go find your daughter's husband.
Go ahead, buddy. You don't know.
Hey, I'm not sure how many Christians actually have a dowry and they pledge their daughters. Yeah. But honestly, a sad story, a lot of what happens even now with human trafficking. You have some folks who are actually doing their kids that same kind of thing. Selling their kids and getting money for their kids. Yeah. And again, there's nothing new under the sun.
There's just different variations.
Different variations. Different shades. Even like slavery. It's just another form of slavery with the incarceration system.
No, definitely. When did you start out working in that type of system, I guess?
Well, I volunteered for a while in the local prison in Belize City. And then they had moved the prison from Belize City outside of the city. And then the government had decided to set up a management that was going to run the prison, and I was volunteering. And when I went to interview, they were like, "But you're doing what? We're looking for someone to pay. So why don't we just hire you?" So it's like,
sure.
and you know, that's an
It's like you did
important,
the
that's
audition
an important point, because if you don't have a job and you don't have anything to do, find somewhere where you can just go and say, "Man, I just need to come and do." Because I heard the story of the guy who, two of them, they didn't have work, and one said, "Man, I can't find work, I'm just going to stay home." And the other one said, "No, I just don't want to stay home." He went and he found the place, and he said, "You don't have to pay me, just let me work." And he was showing up, and they needed someone. They didn't have to decide who, because he's already doing what we're going to pay him for. So you want to give even when it seems like you're not getting anything. But you know, this mindset we have, and it's a mindset that we won't give unless we are getting something. And one of the things that I'm very, very advocate for is just being a volunteer. Help. I mean, most people I'm not going to help if I'm not going to get paid. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be paid, because I teach and I coach not so much to be paid, but because I teach and coach, I got to get paid. How am I going to pay my bills?
Yeah. How are we going to buy?
How am I going to buy? Yes,
You know?
I mean, who's gonna just say, "Okay, you have a free house"? Bills are due. By the end of this month, I got to pay my rent. I got my phone bill, my light bill, my internet.
Everything.
So
I gotta
I
eat.
gotta eat. So, but you gotta be willing to give, because the law of circulation is, once you give, you activate the law of receiving. So, and if I'm holding on not giving, I can't receive. So I gotta release to give, and then prepare myself to receive.
How do you find that balance though, as like a coach? Because I know there's a lot of coaches out there, or people that want to do that type of work. How do you balance that? Because what if, let's say, you're a coach early on in your journey, whatever type of coach it is, life coach, maybe online fitness coach or whatever. How do you, I guess, not be too worried about getting the money, because you kind of need it to survive, right? But also still giving.
Well, someone told me this, right? You can't make a withdrawal without first making a deposit.
Okay.
And I've deposited, you know, last year when I did my summit in Belize, my first in-person summit, I literally invested thousands and thousands of dollars in the summit. And when I had like quite a few Belizeans that I knew deserved to be, but they weren't in the place to afford it. And I was out asking for contribution and help. And I remember I got help from the Ministry of Tourism. I got help from the City of Belize. I got help from Heritage Bank. I got help from Amadea, a Muslim company. I got help from my good friend Lloyd, who is in LA. He provided all the shirts. So I was getting help. And that helped me to defray some of the costs. But that wasn't enough to say cover. I was literally having people coming. And the good thing about it, we were at this very place. And folks didn't know who had paid and who didn't pay. When we went out to eat, order what you wanted, you're enjoying the place. I wasn't going to be. So you got to invest. You got to give. And I know that if you plant a seed and you take care of that seed, harvest time is coming.
Yes, sir.
I mean, 6 years in my business, I'm just coming from the place of where I had to invest for the business. And when I said to someone, I'm envisioning myself being a multi-millionaire, they're like, "You're crazy." Because what's in my account right now is not the dream. Where I live right now is not the dream. But I do believe that if you're faithful, if you give, it's going to come back to you. And sometimes where you give is not even the place where it's going to come back from. Because for the most part, some of the most effective giving is giving to people who have no way of even returning back to you. Because other than that, it's a transaction.
Yeah.
And love, I don't think, should be a transaction.
Wow.
That's just me. What's your thought?
No, I love that. That's I definitely agree with that, man. Because some of the best giving is when you expect nothing in return.
Not that you don't expect. You might not expect from that person.
Okay.
Because when I'm giving, like for example, prior to coming back home, my cousin in New York, they have a scholarship program for some kids in Belize. And I said to him, I said, "I'd love to coach the kids." So virtually I started coaching these kids. I would see them twice a month. And I told them I was on my way home. And I said, once I get home, I'm going to come and coach you guys in person. My first year, I was in the schools. I lived in Belmopan, but I would go to Belize City Tuesdays and Thursdays working with the kids.
Taking the bus.
Because taking the bus, rain, hot. And I believe I'm making deposits. And if you ask those kids, you know, before I came back last year, June, they sent me a gratitude video. And when I saw them and I heard them, I was crying. They were saying, thank you, Mr. Moody, thank you, Mr. Moody. And this year's graduation, I was here for the first graduation, and the young lady that gave the salutative address, I'm her life coach.
Wow. That is beautiful.
And she was here for the summit.
Oh, really? Oh,
To me, this is me again, and I'll be honest, two of the most important people that came to the summit last year was two students. One was he was in his sophomore year, and she was in her senior year this year. And they both came, she graduated, and the young man is still at the school, and I will continue working with him and the others coming in this year because the New York Anglican Diocese, they provide the scholarships. But these are the students that get the scholarship, and those are the only students that I know in Belize that have a life coach. And I have the best life coach.
Wow, the dream builder.
The dream builder, yes.
Yeah, could you walk us through the whole, life coaching philosophy, the 12-week program, everything like that?
Well, I did the work first. And I remember I was in church one Sunday, and Bishop Noel Jones, he's in LA. Bishop Noel Jones, who's my pastor, and he was in church this Sunday. I was driving Uber, and he said, there are businesses in this church that need to be created, go create them. And I went up and I prayed, and I was like, God, what can I do that I can monetize? And life coaching came up, and I met the most amazing mentor, Mary Morrissey. Mary Morrissey is the founder of Brave Thinking Institute, and I did a work with her at that time before COVID for 6 months. It's called Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap.
And it was like going into this computer and deleting the mindsets that were not expansive, and then downloading the right thinking and doing an antivirus, and I came up like an iPhone 17. And I said, I want to live this, but I said I want to take it further. I want to teach. So I went back, invested OPM, other people's money, because I didn't have the money. And I became a certified Dream Builder life coach.
I thought you said opium for a second. I was like, no, OPM. Other people's money. I like that.
Especially, I want to say this to entrepreneurs. You might not have the money, but you might have to borrow the money to do what you have to do and keep account of it. But even after I became the life coach and I was driving Uber, we went into quarantine, and that was the best thing because I was virtual, and now I do virtual. I have clients no matter where you are. All you need is internet. But for 12 weeks, the program that I do currently, we go from designing the dream to testing the dream to increasing your sense of deserving to dealing with fear that pops up to deal with the sense of lack. And then the most two powerful weeks are
forgiveness.
You know that because the clients told you.
I mean, I'll tell you guys this. We've talked to so many different of your clients, and I think all of them, except for one did say something different. All of them said that week of forgiveness was a really powerful transformational time for everybody. Because you really
you got to go in deep, and you got to let go what you don't need, because a lot of time we're bringing stuff that we don't need to take with us. And somebody says when you don't forgive, it's like you put somebody in jail, but you got to be the jailer. So when you forgive, you open the jail and you make sure I'm free. I don't have to have you in my head. You don't have to get free rent. Like you said, property is expensive today. And for you to have rent in my head, no. So we do forgiveness, and then we do listening to that still small voice, tapping into hearing God's voice, and then we talk about creating a support system, mastermind. Have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich?
No. What is that one?
Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
And one of the things that Napoleon Hill found out is that successful people have a support system. And any person, I mean, when you look at the life of the Messiah, he had the core, his mastermind group. And then after that, we talk about disciplining the mind. And then we talk about how we can see apparent failure from a stumbling block into a stepping stone. And then by the time we do the 12-week, we harvest the dream. But what I can tell you, anyone that I work with, who they are in week 1 is not who they are in week 12. And the disclaimer I have reference to people working with me, I got 2 disclaimers. I don't work with no. So if you hear what I'm doing and you said no, I just know I won't work with you. But once I work with you, and all my clients will tell you, I am their coach for life. All of them. That's why Luckario could say coach, and Barry could say coach, because every time they win, I win. So the success of my work is my clients seeing my dreams being manifested. My first client ever, shout out to Dr. Highshaw in LA. When I started working with Dr. Highshaw, he's a social entrepreneur. He had funding for 3 staff. Today, he has a multi-million-dollar nonprofit in LA, over 35 staff. Recently, he said to me, Coach, because in December, he posted a message where He is the head of the Social Work Association in California
Oh
and
my
Hawaii.
goodness. Wow. And Hawaii too. Wow.
Right. And a couple of weeks ago when we were talking, he said they just gave me Nevada.
Oh my.
And
Amazing.
he was supposed to come for the summit last year.
Yeah.
He had a hiccup. He had lost his passport and reported it lost, found the passport, and he got on the flight to come to the summit.
Oh wow.
And they tagged him from LAX to Belize, and as he got to Belize, they sent him back. I was crying at the summit because I was like, no, that's my protege. That's
yeah.
But he's coming this year.
Beautiful. And you know, it's all timing for all these things.
So 12 weeks with me, and you're never going to be the same.
How did you pick 12 weeks as the certain?
That's the program.
distance?
That's the program. That's the program that Brave Thinking does. It's a 12-week program that Mira Morrissey created. But when I did the work individually with her, it was 6 months. It was called Quantum Leap. But what I do now, I teach that in 3 months, and from the start to the finish, it's transformation. It's like I said, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, then it comes out as a beautiful, beautiful butterfly.
Beautiful butterfly. Just like these amazing colors. We didn't even talk about the outfit. The fit over here. Let's talk about the shirt first.
You know,
Belize.
the shirt was sent to me from the Ministry of Tourism when I lived in the States.
Oh, really?
Because
okay.
I represent Belize.
Yeah.
I am Belize.
Yes, sir.
Every Belizean is Belize. Whether you're Mayan, Quechua, Garifuna, Creole, Mennonites, Mestizo.
Everybody.
We're all Belizeans.
I love that melting pot, and it shows cool with all the colors.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like all the different, cultures and subcultures. It's such a beautiful thing seeing everyone come together.
The attire here, I got this in Hawaii because I had a client in Hawaii that I was working with, and that's another story by itself. But I got this there, and again, I always say whenever I'm stepping out, whatever I'm wearing, I'm saying something.
It's a message.
And we were talking about it earlier with the let's say the young woman exposing a lot of stuff and walking down the street, and someone start catcalling her, and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" But again, what you wear, you're saying something. Whatever you're wearing, you're saying anything. And I'm not justifying catcalling.
Of course not.
But what I'm saying is that if you're out there having all things showing, then you're saying, "Okay, here it is." And if I say, "Oh, it looks good," then
respectfully, of course.
But what I'm saying is that you are going to be moved by what you see.
Absolutely.
And if you're wearing a little bit of nothing, then you're definitely going to, because men by nature, they're visual. That's why porn is such a big thing with males.
People struggle with it a lot.
Females are not much up in porn, but men
struggle with it a lot.
Because you want to get a man get his eyes.
And then what's the other saying? It's like if you want to get a woman, it's how you speak or something like that?
No, they say if you treat a woman like a queen, she's going to treat you like a king. Because that's what, and one of my mentors said something. She said men were given purpose. And a woman is looking for a man that is doing something. Because even when, for example, the young ladies today find, let's say, a gangster, the gangster's doing something.
He's hustling.
So they want someone that is doing something. So if you're a man and you're doing nothing, what can a woman help you to do? Nothing?
I'll say I'm glad that you pointed that out because I'm from Connecticut originally, Indonesian background, but in Bridgeport, I don't know if you stopped by Bridgeport.
Oh yeah, I've been there because remember I've been to Connecticut with Barry and
yes. So we'll say Bridgeport is also a very colorful neighborhood, diverse, South Central kind of vibe. Let's say that. But it would be funny to see, like in high school, I remember, like the cutest girls. They're good head on their shoulders, probably like have the best scores. They're probably gonna be super successful. End up with the gangsters for some reason, But it all comes back to that, their purpose. Maybe their purpose is problematic.
You want to know, you want to know why you're doing what you're doing. And I'm not saying that if you're smart, because sometimes they say, "Oh, they're nerds." Because you want to be true to yourself. Because I say to the young person who might not be a gangster, if they don't really see the value in you, then you don't need the value of them. So if they feel like you're a nerd, then be the nerd. Because at the end of the day, I remember one of my nephews, and I tell you, I give him props. His name is Ryan. And I remember Ryan in high school. His peers used to like look down on him, and he looked like he was soft. And where Ryan is today, a lot of his peers, they're nowhere near where he is.
Wow.
And if a young lady chooses junk, then that's her choosing junk. So I'm not for where young ladies just want the gangsters, but it's about finding someone that means a lot to you, and you're actually on the same page, and you're actually working on achieving like goals.
Going back to that whole, dynamic of relationships and all that stuff. This was bachelor's party weekend, you know?
Yes.
Do you have any advice for the future young husbands out there?
Well, I was married. I'm divorced. But the important thing is to know yourself. Because, and this is one thing I say, and we were talking about it last night, talking to Luckario, and I think it was Leroy, one of my other clients, was saying, when you get together, one of the things that he said was a challenge for him was expectations. Because he came with expectations, and he had to review himself from what he was expecting.
Yep.
Because, and I did something recently, I took a few weeks to just be with myself, and then I came back and I was talking to my siblings, my sisters and my brothers, and I said to them, you know what, I love you. I know you love me, but we are not responsible for what our parents did. Because a lot of time our parents do stuff that we had nothing to do with. Yep. And then we still have to live with the consequence of what they did. Because my dad had 3 sons before he met my mom. And my three brothers, their mom was bitter until she died. And she had a reason to, because here this man had 3 sons with you, and then she goes and married my mother.
Yeah.
And there are ill feelings there. But at the end of the day, we have some of that same social situations. I mean, we have places in our society where there are folks who are brothers and sisters and they don't even know.
Yeah.
Because father was just what he was. But the question is, do I want to be like my father in that respect? And a part of it too is the programming that was there, because you know that the slaves were bred like animals. So you just have a stud breeding all, and you know the term MF?
What? MF? Oh, yes. We know.
The term metaphor, right?
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. I don't know.
But MF, this is what they did. They were breeding the mothers with the sons. And then now it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you imagine generations of that happening, and the young men at that time, they were bred, and the offspring were sent anywhere. So today, the same psyche might be there. These young men who want to have a lot of children and not take responsibilities, and all they're doing is creating a system for the pipeline to prison.
Oh my goodness, that's wow.
That's another conversation by itself.
I know, yeah. But you worked a lot in prisons too, right?
My last job before I left Belize, I was working as the program director, and I was responsible for programs in the prison, education programs, religious programs, all the programs. And when parole was introduced, that was my department. So everybody loved Mr. Moody because they could get out of jail.
How do you, I guess, judge that then?
Well, my son today, his name is Carl Wagner. And it's strange because we're neighbors now. We live in the same compound. His house is next to my house.
Oh, the one right next to it. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was one of the first young person who got paroled.
Wow.
And it's 30 years now. He's been out. He now manages a water company.
It's amazing.
He and his wife are my clients. I actually did the 12 weeks with them.
Together at the same time?
I have grandkids that are not from me.
Yeah, but you're...
So that's my son, and I must give him props. But I can't say all of this without mentioning General Authors, Nur Mohammed, and Mr. Adolphus, because they were the senior members of the team. I was the youngest member of the team managing the prison, and I learned as much as I could from them. So, and the general says this to me today. He says, you now are the one that's supposed to take us to the next level. So I'm the youngest of the bunch. Nur is the oldest, and I say peace and blessings to Nur, my brother, and he's a Muslim. So you had 2 Methodists, a Muslim, and I was classified as Christian. Yeah. And yet we worked as a team.
That's beautiful.
And we were helping the young people in Belize who were incarcerated. But the work goes on because there is still more work needed to do what needs to be done. And one of the things that I could say is that Nuri, General, Mr. Adolphus, and myself, we created a model that works. And I would want to say, hey, look at that model that we did. And look at what is being done now. Because if we would go back to that model that we had, we could build upon it and really help lessen the recidivists.
Yeah. If you were talking to your younger self, working in the jail system and everything like that, what would you give as the top 3 advice to do so? Well,
the first thing I would say to myself is the best days are ahead.
Okay. So
be of good cheer. The best days are ahead. The second thing I would say is that stay focused. Stay focused. And the third thing I would say is dream big. dream big. Don't let the situation and circumstances deter you from dreaming big, because one of the fundamental principles that I teach is that everything begins with a thought. And if I can think it, that means it's possible. If I can think being in Bali, it's possible.
It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Because we are probably going to do a podcast and...
Oh, amen to that.
Yes, sir. And when we do
sir.
it, we're going to be like, remember we said this?
Yeah,
and
we can literally put the clip.
Yes,
we'll put the clip.
We said this, that we're going to be in Bali, because I have another client too from Tanzania.
Okay.
And his name is Nasir. And when we started the program, he said, you know what, coach, one of the dreams that I have is to do Kilimanjaro. And I said, let's do it. I have another client from Ethiopia. He is married to a Belizean in Chicago. And when we were doing the program, he said, coach, one of these days we're going to Ethiopia. And I'm like, okay, we're going to Ethiopia. So I got Kilimanjaro, I got Ethiopia, and then I got, what was the other one I said? Bali.
Yeah, of course. Come on now. How could you forget over here? This guy has been everywhere, though. I want to talk about that Japan trip, though, man. You said 8 weeks?
Yeah, I was working at the prison. Arigato gozaimasu.
Let's see, look at that.
So I was in the prison, working at the prison, and I was sent abroad as an ambassador. And it was strange because I don't know how many people have ever been to a forum where you go and it doesn't says your name. It says Belize. So when I spoke, they said Belize. What?
So you're representing the whole country?
Yes, I did that.
Beautiful.
Several occasions I was representing my country. And as an ambassador, I spoke on behalf of the nation. And 8 weeks, we left Belize. I flew from Belize to Mexico because I had to go there to get the visa.
Yeah.
And then we flew and I lost a day. But then when I came back,
you gained that day.
I left Japan Saturday evening and I got to LAX and I had another lunch on Saturday.
There we go.
But those 12 weeks were transformative again. It was before 9/11. And one of the most memorable moments was Hiroshima. Because they took us to the museum. I literally went to ground zero where the bomb actually hit.
Oh my goodness.
Because where the bomb hit, nothing happened. It mushroomed out.
So what did it look like?
It was just like the ground, because that's, you see, once the bomb hit, the radiation went out.
Oh, okay.
And they showed pictures of, I mean, they had kids that were running and their bodies were plastered and it was like a picture taken. And it's a sad, I mean, you could walk through that place and it was so quiet. But I guess it might have been like a reflection of that, like say 9/11.
Yeah.
You go to 9/11 Memorial. But you know, the world in which we're living today, the heart of man, for the most part, some of it is still the same. People want to steal, people want to kill, people want to destroy. And you know, the very thing that can actually give us power is the thing that people use as power to want to destroy people, because there is enough nuclear power that everybody can have good power, and the price of power is not expensive. You can power up the vehicles.
People are greedy.
Yes,
that's the problem.
That's the nature of the beast. People are just greedy. They're just for themselves. And this is why the work that I do, why I do it, is because I believe in serving. Ministering, you serve. Serve people. And as we serve, the greatest is going to be the one that truly serves. So, like you were talking about earlier, where you might not have the money or you might be serving people. Because, like I said, I was doing vision workshops just to do it.
Yeah.
There are people that I've coached today that I've not asked them for a penny. Because it's not so much making the money, it's about making the impact. Because if I coach you to see the dream become a reality, then that's my dream come true.
Yeah, it's priceless.
Priceless.
So going back to the coaching, right? A lot of your clients are amazing, super successful. You know, they did their program, they're killing it, millionaires, all that stuff, right? How do you help someone that, let's say, is in their journey and they've made their dream come true, but they're just so caught up on it, they can never have time to rest?
Well, that's what you learn in the program. Because as a dream builder, as a coach, one of the things that we learned was just to have fun. Dream builders have fun. And one of the things that they encourage us to do at the end of the day is laugh.
Okay.
At the end of my day, I pull up some Golden Girls, some Stanford and Son, some Jeffersons, some comedy that has me cracking up, because laughter is good medicine. And I have the book that I need to release. I did it, and it's called Meeting with My Executive Director.
Meeting with my executive
And my daily practice is rise early, because my phone goes on Do Not Disturb at 9, and it comes off at 7, but I'm up by 4. And I do my meditation, my journaling, my praying, my gratitude, listen to something that is motivational, And if you ask some of the kids, if they remember correctly, I tell the kids there are 5 things. And I say this to clients too. There are 5 things that successful people do. 1, they wake up earlier than they normally should. 2, once they wake, they spend time being still. 3, they do their affirmation and their gratitude. And then the 5th thing they do, envision themselves to be who they want to be for that day.
Envision, okay.
So you want to look at it because as a man thinks, so is he. And when I wake up, the first affirmation that I declare out of my mouth, I say, I am a son of the Most High, created in the image and likeness of God. Today is going to be an awesome day. I will fulfill my purpose. That's my first mantra for the day. And I start listening and doing, because if I give and I'm not giving out of the overflow, then I'm going to get empty. And then by the time the end of the day come, I have to do my forgiveness work. Let go, let go, let go, because a lot of times when we don't do what we say we're going to do, that's when we start feeling bad about ourselves, and then we start doubting ourselves. I'm like, hey, you didn't do it today, but tomorrow. Because every day we get a clean canvas. But I do what I can today, and I want a well done, not a perfect day. In my 64 years, I've never had a perfect one. Have you ever had a perfect one?
I don't think so.
No, but we have a well done. Well done means that, geez, that's good enough. And that's what we need. So, and at the end of this life, I want to hear a well done too.
Well done. Not like the steak, okay? Don't get well done.
Done.
Well done like
Well
the
done.
steak and all the amazing food out here.
Yes.
Let me ask you this though. We usually like to wrap up with some amazing quotes out here on the Patty Show. If you could send a message to your older self in the future, what would it be?
You're going to be sitting on many beaches, yachts, taking many planes, that your clients would say, hey, coach, we need you.
Amen to that. And a message also, we want to send a little message to our future husband out there, Luckario Alcide, because you can't be there in person, but do you have a little message you want to send to him out there?
Well, you know, I've given him a gift. He and his wife are actually going to do 12 weeks with me, right? But what I would want to say to him is that, man, I'm so proud of him. I have no sons of my loins, but he's one of the sons that I believe God has given me now. So as a son, I say to him, you know I'm here for you. And you know that this journey that you're on, it's not going to be a linear line. When you go to the hospital, the monitors go like this, right?
Yep.
And that means you're still alive.
Yep.
But then if it goes like this, you're checked out. So know that they're going to be ups, they're going to be downs. And this year in particular, the scripture that I'm focusing on this year is Psalm 23. It says, the Lord is my shepherd. Full stop. So there's nothing that you want that God is going to provide. I shall not want. And you're going to go through paths of righteousness for his name's sake. He's going to lead you, and he's going to spread a table before you in the presence of your enemies. And goodness and mercy is going to be following you all the days of your life. And I want to say, you and your wife, I can't wait to take you through 12 weeks of work with me. And I can't wait for you to come to Belize.
Woo!
Because you're both therapists. Belize need therapists. Who knows if this might not be a place for you to come and spend some time. So, Luckario, I love you. I appreciate you. And I want you to know that I'm there with you. Because every breath we take, it's the same source breathing us. So I'm there with you today. I love you.
Wow. Beautiful. Oh my God. Coach, you know what to say, man. Such a poetic man. What other future projects are out there that you want to tease to the people out there?
Well, you know,
the summits are coming up, right?
August 15th, actually, I'll be gathering all the dream builders in Belize in the West. And this year, our annual summit is going to be virtual. Okay. So I would hope that if you could, when we have the information on that, it's going to be a very limited crew. Probably maybe 100 people be able to attend. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so
it's always
November,
the Monday. It's always the Monday after Thanksgiving, and it's going to be virtual. Awesome. It's going to be like an hour and a half live, probably in Zoom, and it's going to be an amazing. You know, this year is the year of rest and reset, and the summit this year is going to be rest and reset. Last year, the year was the year of being launched. I was being launched back home. One of my mentors said, don't start your day until you finish your day. Jim Rohn says that. So I don't start my day until I finish my day. I know what was going to happen today before today started. I know I was going to be with you. I know it was going to be. So I don't start my day on the day. It's before the day I know what I'm going to do. I know what this week is going to be. I know what the month is going to be. I know what the year is going to be. So 2020, after I became a coach in 2019, 2020 was kind of clear. It was going to be the year of perfect vision. 2021 was going to be the year of being laser focused in all my intentions. And it's not just the year, but even what the month is going to be. Because in June 2021, June was going to be the month of abundance. And that was the year that Uber had a settlement with drivers, and I got a check of over $10,000 in June. And we went into 2022, which was the year of the kingdom. And then 2023 was actually the year of quantum leap and exponential growth. And then 2024 was the year of being grounded. And then 2025 was the year of being launched. And this year is the year of rest and reset. And I know 2027 is going to be the year of new beginning. New beginning. I already know what 2027 is going to be.
Wow. Don't spoil the other years though for us, okay? We're gonna.
Well, you know, when you are connected to the source, you can know what is, because Alpha, Omega, beginning and the ending. Because the end of my life is known, but I'm catching up with what it is.
That's beautiful. And where can we find you on social media? Your website?
You can find me at Wayne A. Moody on Facebook and on Instagram, because when I was driving Uber in LA, I remember I met some stylists and they were looking at me and they said, "Man, you have that look. Why don't you put it out there as a print model?" So I had a photographer, Stephen Williams, the best. He's in LA. If you want, get Stephen Williams. He has shot some of the most amazing actors, and I did a shoot with him, and I'm in the book called Shades of Color.
Okay.
I'll send you the link. But I'm in this book with all these amazing actors. And so when I did a photo shoot in North Carolina, a friend of mine who said he was going to be my agent said, "You got to have an Instagram page." Now my friends call me Waynaz.
Wayne, okay, Waynaz.
Waynaz. So my Instagram page is Waynaz Supermodel.
Waynaz Supermodel. That's why I saw some of the pictures, man, looking fresh too with the outfits out here.
Yes. You know? Yes. So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. And the young folks say they're going to put it together where they'll do all this stuff like you do and have me do a podcast soon. And they're going to give me the mic like I have it today and let me spit it out.
Yes, sir. Well, you spit out a lot of knowledge. We're so grateful to finally have you on the Patty Show podcast, man. You can find this episode at Patty Show Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, pattyshow.podbean.com, pattysetiati.com/podcast. I'm, again, so grateful for you. Thanks for hosting us in this beautiful country, beautiful moment. Hopkins Bay, shout out to y'all, resort. We'll come back soon with more people, maybe. Yes. Maybe we have a live podcast somewhere. If you can hook us up with a room too, maybe.
Yes.
Hey, we'll talk about it after this, you know? We like to end the show with a bow and an arigato. I know you know how to say arigato.
Yes.
But again, thank you a million. Let's end on 3. We'll do arigato. 1, 2, 3. Arigato. Thank you, everybody. Woohoo!
Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Patty Show. I hope you had as much fun as I did exploring the crossing point of the 3 Ps: passion, pleasure, and positivity. If you want to keep the Patty Party going, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all social platforms at Patty Show Podcast. Share this episode and leave a positive review. PattySetiati.com/podcast, as well as PattyShow.podbean.com have got more of your Patty Show needs. In the meantime, keep passionately pursuing your personal paradise. Arigato.